Hey guys, it's Danny. Welcome to season 2 of Haul Watch. I have another orchid haul, a tiny one, but still a haul nonetheless, and we are going to keep an eye on it. We are going to watch it and see how it develops throughout the years until we have a first bloom, which I think it's gonna happen very soon. Anyway, so before we start, don't forget to give this video a like if you end up enjoying it and you like the series, and why not subscribe? I post multiple times a week. But if you're feeling extra about it and you can, to consider further supporting the channel by becoming a member, checking out the affiliate links down below, checking out the merch, or using the super thanks option down below my videos. Right, let's not waste any time, let's start. All of these orchids are coming from Orchidin Look in Germany. I completely forgot about this nursery, to be honest. Last time I ordered from them, I think I got the Rupiculus Lelias. They didn't have so many Rupiculus Lelias anymore. I have one left. Thrips really enjoyed them, but at least now I have an insecticide for thrips. But they do have a nice selection. The transport is not that expensive, and they ship to Cyprus, which is the best thing of life, because not everybody ships to Cyprus, let me tell you, and that sucks. So today I'm gonna show you the orchids that I got, and I'm gonna show you the pictures of how they're supposed to look like. And from here on, we're gonna make updates. Down below, the pinned comment will contain the entire playlist of this particular season, so you can check it at any time and see what uploads I have on these particular orchids. They will become more frequent as time passes. But for now, let's just get to the orchids, shall we? I'm gonna start with this corner. So first and foremost, this little beauty here. This is a Cattleya I used to have a long time ago. This is Cattleya CG Roebling, and on the website the variety was Sentinel, but on the tag it doesn't say it. This is a Cattleya gaskeliana crossed with purpurata, so a primary hybrid, and it does look spectacular. It is one of those big Cattleya orchids that makes very big flowers as well. By the way, I have a fly that will appear in multiple videos. I'm sorry I cannot get it out, and I don't want to, you know, I'm not into that. So it's just gonna make an appearance in the video because it likes the lights. And after I'm done filming, I'm gonna open the doors and everything and it's gonna go out. But now it's filming time, right? So this orchid is not mature. It will grow larger than this, and the flowers are kind of like this big, and it has a wonderful white and bluish coloration, which is super pretty. It only blooms once a year. It's one of those Cattleyas with a slower growth, let's say, pattern. It only produces one suitable per year per direction of growth, but it's wonderful, and I've always kind of wanted it back. I lost mine due to Fusarium when I moved here, and it was a shame. It was a truly beautiful orchid, one of those crown jewels that you have in your collection. So I have it again. It's not gonna bloom in the next couple of years probably, or maybe, I don't know, I don't think so. It has some growing to do, but it looks very, very strong. It has a lot of roots here, so I think she will do great. All right, next up, let's look at this beauty. This is another orchid I used to have a long time ago when I moved here, and again, I lost it to Fusarium, if my memory serves me right. This is BC Maikai. Do you remember her? It also bloomed. I was gutted when I lost it. So BC Maikai Louise. This is a Brassavola hybrid, and it's one of the best Brassavola hybrids that I've ever seen, and I've seen it up close because I had it and it bloomed for me once. So I think I can also show you footage in this video. And this is her. It looks like a typical Brassavola, right? Well, the flowers are dotted and they have a lot of purple dots everywhere, and it's more like the Brassavola nodosa looking like. It doesn't have a very big flower, but it produces a multitude of tiny little flowers. And yeah, as far as I remember, mine was absolutely beautiful. This one is a very good size. I have a lot of new growth. One of the growths is a little yellow. I see it here. It's okay. There are a lot of new growths here. And again, I can see the root system. I think it looks great. So I think it will do absolutely great. I have to say, the orchids that I received look very nice. For having been on transport for a little over a week, they fared very, very well. Right, next up, here we have, okay, let me try to read this. SLC Orquidacea wait, this is Primeiro Amor. Is it Portuguese? I don't know, so please correct me down below. So Primeiro Amor red star. This means first love. And it really is a beautiful red orchid. You know what it reminds me of? Of Lady in Red that I have. It's red and it has that little yellow center. It's not 1-to-1, and this one is a unifoliate Cattleya. Mine is a bifoliate, so it's not the same, but it looks a little bit like that one. And me and red orchids, we're friends, and Cattleyas, red Cattleyas, we are even better friends. And I actually didn't see a lot of pictures on the internet with this one, so I'm wondering if it's a newer hybrid on the market. I'm not entirely sure, but hopefully we're gonna see more of it, and I hope it's gonna do well. Again, I have a very good root system, I can see it, and these orchids are not incredibly well rooted, which works great for me because I'm going to repot these in sphagnum moss, which works better for me. So I don't want them to be super established and then like me ripping off the roots. I would rather them be loose like this. It works better for me. Next up, oh, this is a good one. So this one, you might say looks a little bit like the Phalaenopsis mini mark. Close. This is Phalaenopsis mini mark crossed with Phalaenopsis lueddemanniana. The result in the picture is gorgeous. It's a mini mark but with pink or purple. I just had to have it. Now, it's a tiny orchid as you can see, but we already have a little flower spike. Phalaenopsis do have this tendency to bloom when they're very young. Even if they're not gonna have too many flowers, you're gonna have a tiny little flower spike, even with one flower. You can see how it will look like. Sally, the flower spike looks a little spent. Gonna let it be. Maybe it's gonna put out a bud, but it's already summer here, so I'm not hoping way too much. But the orchid looks very, very nice. And yeah, I need to repot it, but it looks very, very healthy. Very happy about this one. Next up, here, this is actually an orchid with a different tag. Probably this is the tag of the supplier. Maybe this one is coming from a different place. And the supplier is Qinghua Orchids in Taiwan. So this is a Taiwan import. This is Brassocantanthe Pink Panther. I was about to say something nice, would you mind? With this name, I have to have it. Adding it to my collection of orchids with fun names like Lady Gaga. I love the names on these orchids. So I don't really remember how it's supposed to look like, but I'm thinking pink, right? Might have some dots. Look how many roots. And it's in moss. It's gonna acclimate instantly. There's nothing to it. I love moss. So I will remove this moss. I'm gonna soak it and remove it because it might be old. And I'm not even going to disturb the roots. I'm just gonna put it in a brand new pot and hey presto, potted orchid, no setback. I don't think it is a mature orchid. It did not have a flower. Did it? No, it's just a sheath. So it's not a mature orchid, but I don't think it's gonna take long. These orchids generally that have Brassavola in them, they grow faster. So these guys grow faster than typical, let's say, Cattleyas like this one. Brassavola hybrids and Brassavola generally grow multiple growths per year. They can bloom throughout the year, at least for me they do in this warm climate. So this one, being a Brassavola hybrid, I'm sure it's gonna grow pretty fast. Next up, I told you I was gonna buy this one. This is Cycnodes Wine Delight. Oh no, I think it... Okay, it's okay. I'm gonna repot it anyway. It had a growth, but I think it suffered some mechanical damage. I'm not sure. Anyway, it is a dormant pseudobulb, which is fine. This orchid is a dormancy type of orchid, and I'm pretty sure it will find an eye available. I think I can even spot where the eye will be. Maybe here. Okay, I'm not gonna mess around with it. I told you I want the Cycnodes Wine Delight back. I got it back. It's a little baby, but it's okay, it's gonna grow. Next up, this was sent as a gift. Actually, I did not order this orchid, and it's very exciting because it's a hybrid. There you go. It's a hybrid that does not have a picture on the internet. So it has a very long name. It's Cattleya Ruth crossed Turandot Pink Panther. Oh, so it's Cattleya Pink Panther crossed with LC Ovation crossed Irene Finney. That's quite a bit of a complex hybrid right there. So it is a new hybrid. I'm not sure how it's supposed to look like, but I'm very excited. We're gonna have a premiere, hopefully, on my channel. It is a younger orchid. It has some growing to do, but the root system is, again, very, very good. And this loose bark, it's easy to remove. I'm just gonna soak the root system very, very well, and I will have no issue removing it. Next up, I was not expecting this. This actually came with a bud, and the bud was a little floppy, so I leaned it on this leaf. And I'm hoping it will gain some strength because it grew in the darkness. The stem is very, very fragile. It was also a little dehydrated. Currently it has no power to stay upright, and the bud is quite heavy. This will be a bigger flowered orchid. So I'm leaning it like this, and I'm hoping it will open the bud. So this is PLC Hua Yuan Beauty Hong. This is one that is white with, it's very hard to explain. It's a splash petal type of an orchid, which means it's peloric. It has purple. Does it have some yellow? It looks absolutely beautiful in the picture. I was not expecting it to be so large. I thought it looked like a tinier orchid. It looked a little like the Cattleya, but I'm not entirely sure. It came with a bud, so fingers crossed it's gonna bloom. It didn't yellow so far. It actually gained color. When it grew in the dark, it looked very discolored because it didn't have chlorophyll. So I think it's gonna bloom. Next video, hopefully, will be on the bloom of this orchid. How exciting is that? And sometimes you can have orchids that have been shipped with blooms. What you need to know is that blooms can be quite sensitive, and in transport it's not uncommon for them to just yellow off or dry off. It's very, very common. Or maybe they are still attached and looking okay when you receive them, but shortly after they will yellow. Typically blooms don't ship that well, or buds, so it's okay if you lose them, but sometimes you might be lucky and they will open. So I'm very, very curious how this one will look like. Again, same type of deal, loose medium, very good root system. I will have no issue with this orchid. All of these orchids are impressive. They really are. They look so good, and they will be a joy to work with because they're not super established yet. They have been repotted recently. Oh my goodness, this one. This one is SLC Hazel Boyd Royal Scarlet. The name should give it away. Yes, honey, it's a red orchid. I have a thing with red orchids, and not more recently, but like recently, I want more red Cattleyas. I really, really do. Cattleyas do red very good. Other orchids, they don't do red all that nice. It's more of a red-purple. Cattleyas, full red. They know how to make red. Anyway, so this is a very beautiful fluffy flowered Cattleya. I do not believe it's close to maturity. I think it's one of those bigger Cattleyas. But again, look at it. It looks so healthy. It has a new growth. Roots everywhere. It is loosely potted, so I'm not going to completely massacre the root system when I repot. It's gonna be absolutely fine. Very impressed. And this is the last orchid, but I received another thing in this parcel, and this is some orchid fertilizer. This is their orchid fertilizer, and this was a bonus. I didn't purchase it. I really, really appreciate it. And you know what? It looks like a great fertilizer. It's a 443, so a pretty balanced fertilizer. It is missing calcium and magnesium, but this means that it's suitable for tap water. Most tap water has calcium and magnesium. Unless you're living in an area with very soft water, I don't think you're gonna have issues with calcium and magnesium with your orchids, unless you have a heavier feeding orchid like that. Anyway, so this one is great for tap water. It has microelements as well: boron, copper, iron, manganese, molybdenum, zinc. Now, this one will not last too much because I have a lot of orchids. So from what I understand, this is German, so I'll just have to use my Translate app on it. Anyway, I'm very, very grateful for this. Woohoo, I have fertilizer. It's always great to have it at hand, no, because sometimes some orchids need watering outside of my watering schedule. Pretty much all of my most of my orchids can go with watering every whatever amount of days. They kind of dry out at the same time, but there are always a few that don't. And preparing an entire bucket of fertilizer, not something I like to do for 2 orchids or something. So this, preparing 1 liter of fertilized water works out great for me, particularly with the projects that I have upcoming. Stay tuned. It's gonna be quite interesting. I'm pushing the envelope again. Okay, so that has been it. I will title this whole season 2 orchidine look, and we're gonna have updates. Hopefully the next update will be on this orchid with the beautiful bloom. Don't fall. I'm so clumsy sometimes. Let's put the hands down and do the outro. So this has been the second haul of the year, I think. I haven't done a haul in a long time, except for the shorter one. So I hope you'll enjoy the updates. I hope we're gonna have educational videos to come. If you've missed season 1 Schroeder haul, I'll link you to that one down below as well. And remember, the first comment, the pinned comment on these series of videos will always be the one linking to the entire playlist, so you can check out there if there are new updates, if you're watching this at a later date. So with that said, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me today and seeing the new orchids that I got. And I hope you'll have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye!